Welcome on in, everybody, to Division C West. My name is Bahamut. We find ourselves here on Braxis Holdout for game number 1 of our final best of 3 of the evening. And if you're sitting at home wondering how we might have gotten here, let me get you caught up on all that information. The home team this evening is F in chat, as I did not change the secondary team name. So let me go ahead and do that real quick, as I am a professional caster. I totally know what I'm doing. So the members of Can't Create Acronyms is going to go ahead and lose the coin flip. Hanamura and Tomb of the Spider can be banned out by them. The opposing team opted for first pick priority, and they're going to ban out Towers of Doom and Dragonshire. Braxis Holdout will be the map choice of the members of Can't Create Acronyms. Welcome back in. Yes, Bandit was not dancing. He doesn't get down to the music, unfortunately, anymore. He's too much of an old man. Either way, Garrosh should be banned out, ETC to be gotten rid of as well. Let's see here. We're on Braxis Holdout. We have a lot of good opportunities here. Rexar could be a high priority for the solo lane. Diva's actually been quite a nuisance. Do we see the Gazlord actually make their way into any of these Nexus Gaming Series matches? Gazlo did have the ban on them, as well as Diva, for 2 weeks when they came live after their rework. So since they are now, well, 2 weeks past that rework, they are live and available. We did see a Diva game earlier during our Gilly Shark versus the blanking on the name off the top of my head, and I feel very also Roomba Robots. No, my God, Roomba Rotations. There we go. So either way, Diva will be banned out. They don't want to deal with that on the opposing side. What does Can't Create Acronym come out with here for the ban phase? Do they target BM? No, excuse me, no, BM is on their team. I'm sorry, I read that backwards when I was looking at the lobby. Either way, they wouldn't be targeting their own player, but like they do have a Samuro player, if I'm not mistaken, so they could look for Samuro, and this is actually a decent map for them. They're going to ban out the Diablo and just kind of tank choke a little bit with their double ban, or at least their 2 bans going into this. First pick on the right-hand side, things like Joanna are up and available. She's really powerful. If we want to talk about high execution and high impact healers, Stukov, Decker Kane, and Ana are all up and available. Those are, in my opinion, all first pick worthy. Chromie has been first pick within some of our in-houses as well, so we could be seeing a Chromie priority, but it's going to be the Joanna coming out for the members of Artemis. Blanking on the name off the top of my head, yeah, is the worst team. Okay, Zell, how you doing, bud? Variant to be grabbed on the left-hand side. Maybe going, I'm assuming this is going to be a taunt-based variant, so do they go for their mage immediately? Do they look for like the Jaina or the Kael'thas to look for the taunt single target burst damage, or do they maybe go for like a Grey Mane? They're going to go for the Ana, so I actually really like this. They have the Sleep Dart value, they've got the Biotic Grenade to be able to reduce the enemy healing and impact their own. Next 2 picks before we go into our secondary ban phase will be a Rexar grabbed here, and that was what we were talking about beforehand for the solo lane. We'll see how this Rexar is played, because the Rexar can really get punished if they themselves step out too far and they don't micro their Misha around that top lane. Last, though, pick before ban phase, I think you just go for your healer, because that way it's, oh wait, no, they're going to go for damage. They're going to go for Mephisto, so they're going to be dipping and diving in with Mephisto, and this is also a very good map for him. This is often where we see Chromie prioritized as well, just because you have these point control based areas and you're looking for these single target burst potentials on anyone kind of stacked up. Ban phase, though, coming through once again. In my opinion, you 100% ban out a healer that you think is strong. Mephisto coming in with a Joanna. Anduin's actually a really good idea. Actually, I like that. I'm still leaning Stukov just because of the flailing swipe or the single target disengage with the massive shove into Varian, because you could actually deny the Varian trying to, Colossal Smash, or just, dive in and look for a taunt onto a target, and Ana can follow up with a Sleep Dart, or vice versa. So you just have a defensive tool with that. But the Anduin's still great because you have the Leap of Faith, so it's kind of the counter way of doing it. You also have that baseline, but it is an 80-second cooldown onto that trait for them. Banning wise for the left-hand side, this makes a lot of sense. I was about to say, if they have the Ana, they could look at banning out a mage that would be impacted by a nano boost, and Kael'thas actually has quite a bit of value from said nano boost. The fun little fact as well, if you are a Kael'thas and you throw a Pyroblast out and the Ana nano boosts you halfway through the Pyroblast traveling to the target, you still have that nano boost applied to the Pyroblast that will hit the target. So just a nice little tidbit of information for you, as Imperius will be grabbed for the members of Can't Create Acronyms. And what do we have for our last pick before... Oh, not last pick, excuse me, but just the last of these two is going to be Tassadar. So they're going to be looking for Imperious solo lane, burst and poke potential with the Tassadar. Does give you a good nano boost target as well. You have the Acorn. The Acorn. Nano boosted would be the nano boosted acorn. Dear Lord, that'd be perfect. Anyways, we do have a Joanna, Rexar, Mephisto. We still need some sort of healer and some sort of extra damage. Hanzo would actually be kind of great here. They're gonna go for Vala, so there's some sustained damage, and then for a healer, they're gonna go for Deckard Cain. Does offer you some setup on top of the Joanna, so you can play around that quite a bit. I like it a lot. Isn't CCA supposed to be CCS? I don't know, Lion Bella. I don't care. I don't care today. I'm sorry. It's can't create acronyms, so it's CCA. But they have a capital S at the end, and everyone's just like, isn't it this? And I'm okay. I don't care enough today. I really don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I really don't care. It's the most dumb thing that people keep bringing up in chat, and I don't know why. I'm sorry. I'm just like, today's not my day. Vikings will round things out on the left-hand side for the members of the Can't Create Acronyms. My also point too is if you want your team name to be CCS4, name yourself CCS4. Okay, just that's just it. Like the people out there who are just like, my name's spelled one way, but it's pronounced another way. I'm sorry. Just change your name spelling. You make my life a living hell. We love you. Thank you, Valk. I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to Volskaya Foundry. We have a lot of interesting setup here. The Vikings are the one thing that I'm most confused about because I'm curious as to if they're played into the Rexar or if they're going to be spread in a 2-1 fashion. How will these Vikings be run across the map? We'll have to see. I feel like I've seen this somewhere. Have you? Have you seen it somewhere? Where have you seen it? Let's get into game. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Can't Create Acronyms. We have Arcane on the Imperius. We have Great Pato, Great Pato on the Tassadar. Sabrutal? I can't see. Sabutal, I think, is supposed to be on the Ana. Cryonix is going to be on the Varian, and we have BM on the Olaf, BM on the Balog, and BM on the Eric. On the right-hand side, we got the members of Artemis. We're going to be having Dark Horse on that Rexar. We've got Ashken on the Mephisto. Jotek will be on that Vala. Honestly is going to be on the Joanna, and we have 7 on the Deckard Cain. My name is Lion, but it's sadly Lion. See, oh my god. Case and point! 3 Vikings sitting up in top lane while we have 4 core in bottom versus 4 core in bottom. So this will be 3 Vikings harassing a Misha Rexar combo. This will be very interesting to watch. We'll do our best to keep an eye on this as the charge comes out, and that will be an Eric going down first. Technical blood in favor for the members of Artemis. Honestly, sitting in the bush, waiting for someone to step up into them. Just going to pull the Condemn and grab 2. They get the slow as well. Vala gets a multi-shot out as there's an Imperious Celestial charge onto one of the players as Vala will consistently throw out damage. Arcane getting low, but will not get picked off. Ash able to get a Skull Missile up, but not going to find a kill. Back into top lane, we are going to be seeing BM trying to get this Balog out, and we'll be able to do so. I thought they were going to lose it there, but the Misha Bear does back off. 2-lane Vikings is a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out for them. See, no, there's been arguments where people are saying that Vikings 3-stack, if microed really well, can be difficult to deal with, and we're actually kind of seeing that in a sense. Like, BM is going to lose their Olaf if they don't cycle him out, which they do. Also to point out, too, the Vikings also will increase their health regeneration by 0.5, I believe, per regeneration globe. Isn't it 0.5? So, like, right now they would have, like, 2.5? Yeah. So there you go. So when they get into that upper realm of lots of regeneration globes, there's actually really cool moments where they could actually have these 1v1 moments. But right now, this is going to be kind of hard, but it looks like it's actually fine for them. They're slowly whittling the Misha Bear down, and Dark Horse is maybe a little bit worried about losing said bears. They're going to get the charge through this Olaf, who's, I mean, we just currently have the Balog just hanging out, and we're going to be losing the Varian in bottom lane as I keep wanting to watch the Vikings. I know both lanes are actually really interesting. Like, usually, like, no offense to solo laners, but usually your lane is just kind of very stagnant back and forth, and you can watch on the minimap or the health bars to see who's getting low. In this situation, it's not that whatsoever. I can't see the 3 Viking health bars, so it's very difficult for me to kind of take a guess as to how they're doing up there. So we're going to do our best to jump over there as much as we can, but this is looking like Artemis is going to have the majority of the control of this first objective phase. Arcane is going to be low, and they're going to be able to cycle out. This is going to be top lane held over long enough by Rexar, who's split the Vikings away right now, and they're just going to go ahead and say, you know what, I have 33% of a wave to deal with, which is going to be a couple Banelings, a Guardian, and a Ultralisk. 3 Vikings coming back into this top lane will do their best to poke against all that. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, let's look and see what the siege is going to look like for Artemis, as they're going to try and open things up with these 2 Ultralisks. They're taking quite a bit of damage. They have the step in with Honestly and that Condemn. Arcane getting low, but they don't find the kill. Deckard Cain with the Ruby having a lot of potions on the ground will heal up quite a few members. The Ultralisk going to just tank a little bit of this tower for now as the 3 Guardians supply some damage from afar. Doesn't look like they'll get the fort, but a lot of value coming out from this first objective phase in favor for the members of Artemis, as they have not really lost out too much in this top lane. Not even the full front gate, but almost one of the towers.
You have my gratitude. I'd likely be served food without you.
It works a lot better when Eric heals from running around. Ah, so Eric the Swift, okay. I guess, yeah, because you can literally kite people with this talent. That's interesting. I didn't think of it that way. Olaf actually took something different at level 1 as well. 20% max, yeah, that's what, because I was like, man, Olaf is sustaining the 1v1 at Amisha for so long. So every 5 seconds, Olaf gains 75 physical armor against the next enemy hero basic attack, reducing the damage taken by 75%, stores up to 2 charges. So yeah, that's actually interesting. That's really, really interesting. I didn't see that Olaf level 1. That I was like, oh yeah, they didn't go bribery, and I just didn't even follow with the thought process onto that. Varian is going to be taunt. They're going to look at the Joanna, but they're not going to find it as the camp is still pushing in through bottom lane. Camp to be grabbed for top. The Vikings not able to split off and grab anything themselves. They actually, no, excuse me, they did grab a camp for bottom lane, and they do have that pressing to the front gate. I did not see that till just now. They could actually back off and grab their bruiser camp. These Goliaths could be pushing the lane with the Reaver. Misha Bear charge. BM should be able to survive this with their Olaf, because we were literally describing earlier exactly the kind of value that this Olaf has with their level 1. But once those stacks are shredded, they're gonna have to be forced away, as it looks like Mephisto got picked off by the Ana down over here in our bottom lane. Bit of a back and forth over there, as it is 7-7 in levels. Varian going to be up and available with that taunt in just a second here, as they're going to lose another Viking into top lane. So bottom lane seems to be slowly being won out by the members of Artemis, as they pop that mending for the Misha, and I think that'll be enough to survive. Wow, to sustain them during that disengage. That was actually surprising. I wasn't expecting Misha Bear to make it out alive out of that one. But another objective phase will be up and available, as Nightbot spams into chat once again. Eric going to jump onto the point and be left there for now, but this with that Eric the Swift at level 4 is going to allow them to, if they can basically just keep that Eric moving and auto attack, they can really whittle down and poke people and be quite that, well, annoying fly that Eric kinda is. We'll see what happens in bottom lane. We're gonna hang out down here for a little bit and also cycle through those numbers, get an idea of what the damage experience and healing is looking like in this game number 1 of our final best of 3. Is they're taking a bit of damage on this Varian. They're gonna turn around, look for this Mephisto, and they get the bop blow up that they're looking for. Force Wall comes out from Tassadar, but it's not even needed. Joe trying to back out. Should be able to. Gets a potion from Deckard Cain, multi-shot backwards into the enemy team. They're going to have a Celestial Charge onto 2. Honestly, getting low. Medallion, I think, was used right there, and they step into a potion just in time from 7 being thrown out, and they'll hold this over in bottom lane. Meanwhile, in top lane, this is BM. Look at BM getting this burst, I guess you could say, into the Misha, who's going to try and survive. They're going to force the Olaf off, and now this is Eric. They're cycling these Vikings out, and so this will give them time for them to recharge those 2 stacks. Vala does go down in the lower lane, as we were up here in top taking a peek at that engagement. I actually want to jump back into this because I think the Misha Bear might go down. Charge, I want to say Celestial Charge. Charge through BM. I want to also point out, Dark Horse can get the level 13. I don't remember the name of the talent, but it's the auto attack based talent that increases your auto attack speed. These Vikings actually might have a harder time, and right now BM is not being able to move the Eric around. One more auto will give them the kill that they're looking for, and they're able to get that Eric kill, which is just one less thing for them to deal with in this top lane. But now the Balog has come down with the Olaf, and Balog does deal a decent amount of damage, and Misha Bear should go down. They're going to play within the bush. They actually swap over. Jotak comes up here. They're going to lose the bear, but I think BM should lose all 3 Vikings. No, they won't. They get behind the gate. They're going to use play it again, but this Val is still up here, and they need to be they need to be cautious of that because of the fact that the Vala is going to burst down Vikings, and actually Vikings maybe bursting them down. They actually want to focus onto Eric right now. They know that Olaf was going to just sustain some of the damage that's coming out from them with these autos. Bottom lane is losing out a little bit more since the Vala did rotate in this top lane, and since that's happening, and this is actually kind of a win for the members of Can't Create Acronyms because they're forcing, oh, this is a dead Mephisto who actually had Shade of Mephisto. I didn't realize this, so they're actually going to be completely fine. 11 to 10 in our levels. Vala with the Creed of the Hunter at 53 stacks, 8 out of the 25 for the Hunter-Gatherer for the Misha Rexar. We have 19 out of the 25 on the Lion's Fang, I believe, Lion's Maw for the variant at level 1. And we have 155 out of the 200 stacks for Static Charge. Rexar is still forcing these Vikings off, but they're slowly becoming a nuisance. Misha Bear will go down, but do they have enough autos from Rexar? I don't think so. Joanna does go down in the bottom lane as well. Shockray coming out, and slowly but surely they are really starting to pull ahead as actually Ashe lives through that Psy Storm. I thought they were going to get picked off, but this will be top lane and bottom lane held over by the members of Can't Create Acronyms, and they're going to go ahead and take a little bit of Zerg charge in their favor. See what happens here is Mephisto coming back. Everyone's set up in the bush on the left-hand side. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. Misha's back up here as well. Ooh, no, they just back off. Okay. I was waiting to see if they would be able to do it. I don't know who in chat is my dog that gave me $10, but I love you so much. 8 minutes ago. Thank you to whoever gave me $10 and said you were my dog. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. This is Varian maybe going down in bottom. Actually, Shade of Mephisto forward. The Lightning Nova finds the damage they need. They almost didn't have it, but then the Banelings are gonna come through, and that's gonna be the Mephisto going down as well as the Decker Kane. But meanwhile, they also lost a couple Vikings who are gonna play it again in top lane. We have got the Tassadar going down at some point. Misha Bear gets picked off in top. Bottom lane should be pushed back, honestly, so very low. I want to point this out. You need to be so cautious of those Banelings. They can really burst a hero down quite a bit when they initially are spawning out of the gate. Top lane, looks like Misha Bear did get picked off once again. The Vikings going to be just hanging out in top lane. Misha Bear respawned now, and they're able to clear this out, but they're going to lose their bottom lane fort. Rotating on Vikings is kind of like rotating on Murky. Yes and no. Like, in the sense of just, like, I agree with you 100%, but I don't when, like, let's say that Vala rotated into top lane and BM didn't get to play it again. Like, they got the Baylog kill, then I would have said absolutely worth. But if they didn't, which they didn't, then no, it's not worth it because they played it again and the Vikings were there. It was pretty much mitigated. It was moot rotation, and they actually got more out of it in the bottom lane. So that's what I was saying. Like, I agree with you 100%, but I see, like, a realm where, like, if it went the other way, it would have been worthwhile, and I think that's maybe what they were looking at it as Stay Well and Listen catches the foot of of Varian, and that will be a counter kill, tank for tank, as the Guardians will be cleared out in the bottom lane. Top lane is going to be a Misha Bear going down once again. Rexar, did you go into it? Yes, they went Aspect of the Hawk, and this is what I was talking about, the auto attack speed increase, and they get the 1-2. Oh my god! That is the most tilting thing on earth, probably. BM walked away with some double-digit health, not even. I think they were maybe nearing single-digit. It was somewhere in the 10 range. Dear Lord, that has got to be tilting. Rexar does end up going down to the dive from the Vikings, and while I said earlier the Vikings might struggle at the beginning of the game, not so much the case in the end of later half of the game. What are they at? 15 regeneration per second on top of what they have baseline. They are basically getting almost 20 HP per second when they're standing still, which is massive for these Vikings. They don't have the biggest health pool, but if you're able to maybe talent into some other stuff like Eric the Swift and Olaf the Stout, you're able to then sustain these Vikings a little bit more. Very well played from BM. And they're going to go ahead and actually swap these Vikings into bottom lane. Friendly team is going to consistently stay into top as they do have a camp pushing in, and these Vikings will clear out bottom lane. Interesting rotation. I actually really like the setup coming out from the members of Can't Create Acronyms. Easy 3v1, yeah. If they all die, it's kind of bad, but it shouldn't happen. Smile. Yeah. But that's the thing, like, if this Vala got the kill onto the Baylog, then I would have said that top lane rotation would have been so worth it, because then they could have made the quick rotation to bottom, and they might have actually mitigated the losses that happened down there. Unfortunately, not the case, and so now we are seeing the game that is unfolding in front of us. We actually have a Vikings scouting out, which is actually a really good use right there. They don't really need the Eric to clear out the bottom lane. Olaf and Baylog do a really good job of this together. Eric would supply some more damage and a little faster DPS, but this is also just giving them a little bit of vision for the friendly team so they can see any sort of rotation in the bottom lane. But it looks like all 5 are in top. They want to go for this pick, and they're looking at this Ana, and they find it right there. Black Hole, the toilet bowl comes out. Stay well and listen will be in front onto the Tassadar. They turn around onto Varian and find that kill as well. Misha Bear will be sacrificed for the double kill as they chase in further onto Arcane. Gonna dive under the tower, but the force wall from Great Poto is going to be enough to stall them out. And with that, they don't have 16s, but they managed to catch them on the back foot really quickly, and this will be them up a couple kills, ready for the Zerg wave. Unfortunately, the Vikings are already on the point, so they have to rotate into bottom lane, but hey, at least they'll stall out top lane, and the enemy team only gets 22%, but Varian and Ana are just about back up. Ball in bottom lane should find an Olaf down here. No, they're actually just going to go for the wave clear, it looks like. These Vikings. This is a good call. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the good call right there, as they're going to lose their Eric. They do have a Viking jumping into bottom lane really quickly to grab another regeneration globe to build up the baseline regeneration increase, but I think they found... No. They played it again. That's why I was just like, they're about to get a Viking kill, and then they played it again. Not the case. They really want to go for this fort in bottom lane to even out the catapult pressure. So while they see them doing that in bottom lane, they're going to jump into top lane and try and do the same thing over here. Taunt onto the Rexar. The Misha Bear goes down. The tower will not be enough to save them, and Varian backs out with just reduced armor as the top lane fort will go down, traded out. They're going to make this long rotation, but no Rexar for 35. I don't think they want to step into this enemy team. Looks like they're going to save their fort. No, excuse me, the minion wave. I'm dumb. IDK man, Olaf kind of thick. Yeah, got a big booty. That's a taunt, dive, Vala vaults away. The stay while and listen is gonna be just slightly too late. They almost made it to the potion in time. There's gonna be the cleanse. There's just a turnaround onto the Joanna, and they're gonna go ahead and just chase this out further. Vikings in bottom lane already with the channel over there. There's gonna be a scroll of sealing from Decker Kane to force them back. And now the Vikings pushing out bottom lane. We got the core 4 in top. This is looking very, very strong for the members of Can't Create Acronyms. Let's see if they're able to push through the top lane and end game, or at least take keep. It's 50-50 on this, because honestly, if they get a couple kills, they could look to end game, and it's just they've got big kill potential with these consistent dive taunts from Varian. Wall will be going down. Vikings are actually managing bottom lane as I'm just peeking down there. They're actually going to consistently push that up and also manage the Zerg wave. Ash gonna look for a little bit of damage in the back line, but they don't really find anything, and this is now Zerg wave on top of the keep. They've still got the 3 Ultralisks and 3 Guardians, so great damage from that. This is gonna be a massive condemn from the Joanna. They're trying to step in. Endurance of Fate coming out from the Mephisto onto a few. There's gonna be a lot of damage onto Varian, who does get picked off. Arcane backs off. Everyone just trying to run out of here as they do get the keep, and I think they take that trade. That's actually pretty good for them. They have Varian for a keep. They'll be able to disengage. The enemy team doesn't really have any sort of map control, and they can they can back off and they can go for maybe a camp or two. Excuse me as I get water. What are our Vikings at currently? 50. Dear Lord. 38 HP per second on these Vikings. I'm just watch Baylog's health.
Who designed this ramshackle facility?
Like, they're almost sustaining more than the actual Minions can deal damage to them. It's just wild. It's just absolutely wild. Either way, we are going to be having a boss being contested currently by both teams. Stay well and listen up and available. We should be seeing the Decker Kane position for that. Endurance of Hate comes out. They mostly just threaten it with their physical bodies as the Varian just now respawns. So they get a heroic out, and it's not the longest. It's a 50-second cooldown if I'm not mistaken. We already have BM'd with this Eric in the bush. It seems like they're just going to grab camps for the members of Artemis. Not so much on the left-hand side. They're going to deal with this boss, though. What are we gonna get? I'm sorry, I'm looking through talents because I'm like, oh, we're about to get to 20s. Also to note, Hunter Gatherer for the Rexar Misha's almost done one regeneration globe from that one. 96 stacks on the Vala for the Creed of the Hunter, so just 4 more autos out from that one, and they'll be able to finish that out. Speaking actually of 4 more autos, they might find it down here, and they do, and into the Olaf. They're gonna chase in with the Mephisto, and they actually double back. Really well played from BM. A lot of people typically would just continue to run a straight path to get away from the Mephisto, but realistically, doubling back would allow them to have to double back as well, and they don't typically expect that, so it's just little things like that can really catch them off guard. As that's I swore I saw a falling sword, but I think it just might have been something graphical on in Heroes of the Storm. Either way, this will be 20s up. Let's see. We do have the increased or the improved force walls, the force barrier. So it's what, a 10 seconds off. So it's like an 8-second cooldown, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 18 seconds baseline. We can actually double check this. Let's look. Might be wrong. I feel like I'm wrong. Oh, it's an 8-second cooldown now. Okay, so, and they also have the increased range on it, so we can actually hear. This is what the range is looking like on that force wall, and it also has a faster birthing time. Am I? No. That was just the pat. No, wait, is it? No, it's fast. It's increased duration. The birthing time or the spawn time of the gate or the force wall was changed when Tassadar was in PTR rework and then came into live. So I'm just misremembering that. It is a duration increase onto the force wall itself. No electric fence at level 4. They just went into the, I believe this is speed increase. Casting Chakra grants Tassadar 20% increased movement for 3 seconds. If they didn't, the enemy hero said it's increased by 30. So that means they basically have mount speed without being mounted. Taunt Varian on to Rexar, Shockray out, and Dark Horse goes down. Misha Bear out of here. Imperious to be traded out. Black Hole out from the Tassadar as the Durance of Fate connects onto the Variants. They're going to trade 1 for 2 in favor for the members of Artemis as the Force Wall comes out, blocking quite a few. Ash tries to step in, just ends up taking a lot of damage themselves, losing one of the Vikings. Actually, I think they lost 2 Vikings during all of that. BM could play it again in 5 seconds. They are going to be checkpoint reach, which 10 seconds after using play it again, any dead Viking. So basically, you can just you can use your Vikings as dive. You want a team fight with your Vikings at this point. You want a Viking or 2 to die because you basically just get an insta cast. So time to int very hard. Honest to God. Chat, I was trying to predict in my mind who's taking this game, and I really don't know. I think we're going to a game 3 tonight. I think this series goes to a game 3 because this has been such a back and forth matchup. Let's actually cycle through the other numbers. We've looked at 20s for a little bit here. Let's go ahead and look at some of those other numbers, get an idea of what the damage, experience, and healing is looking like for this game number 1 in our final best of 3 of the evening. As BM holds control over bottom lane, they're going to try and get the Eric onto top. Joe's going to see that, so they're going to vault forward, and that's enough to threaten the Viking off point. Everyone coming back on the left-hand side, same to be said on the right. Viking not going to get much team fight? No, Viking. I think Vikings got this. They got this. I mean, they've had enough in team fights, right? Eric can casually 1v2. Channel's going to be swapping back and forth, but it is mostly in favor for the side of Artemis. We could be seeing fairly large Zerg waves in both lanes. Artemis's will go into top, and the members of Can't Create acronymS will be going into bottom lane. Taunt from Varian on to Decker Kane. Celestial Charge to follow up. Rain of Vengeance coming out as well. Decker Kane will be going down. Angelic Armament up and available. Eric gets picked off. They have the Durance of Hate out as well. There's going to be the Black Hole from Tassadar as Varian gets picked off as well as Tassadar. Arcane going to try to 1v1, but they end up going down. Ana gets picked off as well. And the Vikings will be trying to run out of here, but here's the thing. During all of that, they managed to get 100% Zerg wave, so they only need to deal with 67% in this top lane, which is already fortified, versus the enemy team having to deal with that 100% in bottom lane. And the Baneling siege value is massive. They need to be cautious of this right now. They're going to be stepping into top lane, and they're looking to maybe even end with their Zerg wave, but this is 100% in bottom lane. This is a close game, ladies and gentlemen. I think I don't know what's going to happen here, because actually, realistically, you do play it again in bottom lane, and you have 3 Vikings. You're now sieging, and you're racing against the enemy team with a larger Zerg wave. Who's going to win this? This is actually Keep already going down. They're stepping to core, but smaller Zerg wave. This is going to be close here, chat. I actually don't know who's going to win this. I think it actually will be on the left-hand side. They got to the core first, and this will be Artemis taking game number 1 in our best of 3 series. GG. Well played. Vikings can mess up a bad Mephisto shade, yeah. I said that backwards. I said can't create acronyms won that, didn't I? Oh no, I said art. I don't know. Today's such a day. Sorry, everybody. Hey, Kalis. Thank you to whoever gave $10.
Time for me to give you a treat.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You could give the best hugs.
Rabbit, thank you for the follow.
You could give the best
Soma, thank you for the follow. All right. We'll have our next lobby in just a second. We just got to figure out what the players want. And then we'll get going to game 2. I don't know, that Viking play was interesting though. I was really surprised by that. It was like, I think, I don't know, if they backed, I wonder if they would have made the defense. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. If the 3 Vikings backed and they went for the defense, would that have been enough for them to stave off the enemy team from ending game? I don't know. I really don't know. Because they could have lost all 3 Vikings and then just had the checkpoint value and then just do that. Lazy Hydra, thank you for gifting 2 subs to BM and 8-Bit Dame. For my 2... Oh, Lazy Hydra, you did not have to. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. Thank you. Someone had to match Star Kappa? You did not have to. Thank you. I appreciate it. Alright, looks like we're going to this map. Who's waking up early for the 3090 tomorrow? God, I just remembered that I have to wake up early tomorrow.
You could give the best hugs.
Riasrin. Sorry if I murdered your name. Thank you for the follow. Very much appreciated, my friend. Send hi to Argentina, bro. In Argentina, we play Heroes of the Storm, the best MOBA, but the millennial people isn't ready for this type of game. I love it. It's my favorite game. Fell asleep on the couch, just woke up like 6 hours later. I missed the first match. Pepe hands. Oh, I'm sorry.
You could give the best hugs.
Oh God. Yuri Tanai? Thank you for the follow. Sorry for murdering your name. Glad you're enjoying the content. Mephisto will eat them alive. Could eat some Vikings alive, absolutely. All right, looks like we're gonna get going into game. So let's find out what's gonna happen here for game number 2, as we are going to be heading on into... Welcome on in, everybody, to our game number 2 here for our second best of 3 of the evening, which could be our final matchup of the evening, or final even game of the evening. We are going to be here on Infernal Shrines with Can't Create Acronyms on the left, down 1 in our best of 3 series, and the members of Artemis on the right, up 1, trying to close things out in a 2-0 fashion. Let's get into the map bans and picks, as you are probably itching to find out how we got to Infernal Shrines. The home team this evening is going to be the members of Can't Create Acronyms. They are going to lose the coin flip. The enemy team is going to opt for first pick priority in game number 1, banning out Towers of Doom and Dragonshire. Hanamura Temple and Tomb of the Spider Queen were banned up by the members of Can't Create Acronyms. Braxis Holdout was the first map chosen by them, and they lost that. As the losing team, they can either choose first pick or map pick. They opted for map pick priority for game number 2, choosing to take us to Infernal Shrines. Let's jump back into our draft and find out what we have here so far for our bans, which is actually just gonna be the Blaze. We have not had any thus far, and actually, That will be our first one. Next, though, coming out, we are in Infernal Shrines, so we could be seeing a lot of heroes that are really strong on the shrines themselves, or we could see targeted bans. This is another good map for the Vikings. They could actually look to Viking on the side of can't create acronyms. What a respect. I wonder if they ban out the Vikings here. I wonder if they don't want to deal with the Mephisto into the Vikings again. So they're just like, all right, cool, get rid of it, done. That's it. Vikings are out. I'd consider it here. I'd consider a Viking ban. Though here's what's going to happen is that BM is just going to go to Samuro. But if you're more comfortable playing against a Samuro, then you go into that. If you're playing against Vikings and you know they're coming, maybe you just butcher. Maybe you just butcher and you okay, no, they're going to go Diablo ban. Okay. Excuse me. Water's getting low. Mephisto on the left-hand side to be banned already. I think I will see Gaz or Sam here. I think so too, Zul. I actually really like the idea of a Gazla on this map. Samuro could be great. Vikings could be great. Like, it's BM's playground realistically at this point. They got a lot of really good opportunities. Last ban though for the left-hand side. What was annoying in the last game? Actually, that actually makes a lot of sense. Great for grouping up minions between the bottom to mid rotation. Great for grouping up the skeletal defenders over the objective phase. So nice pickup for them, at least on the ban side of things. First pick for the right hand side. What are they going to opt for? It's a strong, solid pick. I actually really like it. I mean, it's strong cooldown reduction. You have mosh pit value. Stage dive works well on this map, so you can play them in a global. You still can go encore at 13 and get cooldown reduction, so why not? I like that. I like that a lot. Thanks for casting. My pleasure, Rob. My pleasure. Thanks for coming by, bud. Picks coming out from the side of can't create acronyms. Kael'thas and May.
It's worth fighting for.
So they want Shrine Clear, Poke. Or Shrine Clear, Wave Clear, and Poke. They want Aggression to match the ETC with May with Displacement. Also, her icing is basically his Power Slide plus Face Melt in one talent, so she kind of wins out on that one. Now, Diva will be grabbed here, and what else do you grab with that Diva? I'm assuming support. I actually love the Decker Kane again. Ooh, they go Ana. Okay. Ooh, can you nano the Pilot Diva for the Mecha Explosion to increase its spell damage? That'd be cool. I feel like we might see that actually happen. A nano boosted Diva with Mecha Explosion would be interesting to see. But they also do deny the enemy team the possibility of an Ana Kael'thas, so that's a really good pickup from them. Ban-wise, for the right-hand side, they need some sort of Shrine Clear, Wave Clear. Banning out the Jaina, in my opinion, is great, but Tassadar is not a bad idea whatsoever either. Is Avalanche still banned in NGS? Let me look. Talents? Banned? Tracer's level 13 jumpers banned. Leorix prohibited from using train mount while dead. That's it. That's just Tracer and Leoric. So Avalanche is former Diva main here. Why former? Why would you be former? Oh, Diva. Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't get why you were saying you can, but you were answering my question about the Mecha Explosion. Thank you very much for confirming that. Okay, that would be cool to see. Nanomosh though? Why, Zool? Why? Why do you do this to me? Wait, do you nano the pilot or the empty mech? Oh, wait, do you have to choose? Since the mech can be thrown and stuff. Oh. Yeah, which one do you have to nano? Do you nano the mech or the pilot? Because I feel like you'd nano the pilot, it would do it. Can you nano the mech? Like, when it's out like that? Does it become untargetable? For friendly members, I mean? Not by enemy, obviously, because you can throw it, as Vita was making a point. I don't know. Kira and Whitemane were grabbed on the left-hand side. Zul was banned out on the right. We do have a Sylvanas and a Gul'dan to be grabbed for the members of Artemis. Okay. You nano the mech beforehand. Okay, thank you. We have Kael'thas, May, Whitemane, Kira. Their front line's super, super weak here. Looks like it could be Kira into Diva, but I still think that they could be more beneficial for something bruiserier, and I think this Gazlo actually might fit that role. That might be it right there. We do get to see the Gazlord, and they are going to be popping into our Infernal Shrines game. So 2 reworked heroes. We got Diva and Gazlo. I'm excited for this one, as we'll load into Infernal Shrines, and yeah, we'll get into what could be the final game of the evening, or we get into what could be game 3. Leyline Hinterland's Blast. Ooh, what about Leyline Apocalypse Ring of Frost Hinterland's Blast? What do you think of that? Is that too many heroes? Am I dumb? I don't know. Avalanche is no longer banned. Yes, correct. Avalanche is not banned. According to the thing that I typed, it is not banned. Alrighty, cool. Cool. So we'll go ahead and we'll load into Infernal Shrines, and that is going to be that. Sorry, I'm just double checking all my... I thought I had something pertaining to work, but I don't. Anyways, let's get into game. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Can't Create Acronyms. BN is going to be on that Gazlo. Cryonetics, I think, is going to be on the May. Arcane will be on that Kira. We got... Oh no, they said it earlier and I forgot. I'm just gonna go with Bella because I don't remember what they said their actual line. It's not Lion, it's something. It's Leah Bella, I think. I can't remember what they said in chat. Will be on that White Mane, and Great Poto is gonna be on the Kilthos. On the right hand side, we got the members of Artemis. We got Dark Horse on the Diva. 7 will be on the Ana. Ash is gonna be on the Sylvanas. Honestly, will be on the ETC, and Joe will be on the Gul'dan. Hinterland's Blast plus Planet Cracker. Ooh, yeah. Hey, what's up, Josh? How you doing, bud? Solid draft from Artemis. You think so? ETC Diva Ana should never happen. Currently, BM is just partying up in top lane by themselves. Power slide through ETC is not going to find anyone for a kill, but just still harassing them quite a bit. As actually Ash is going to dump damage into Arcane. They did go into Unfurling Shadows at level 1, so we'll keep an eye on that one. I believe it's basically half of whatever it is basically the actual percentage, so it's 3% right now, right? Am I right on that? 3%, yes. So whatever number this is, just half it, and that's the actual percentage. It's okay, we got BM'd on Gaz. Well, yeah. Q build Gul'dan, well played. This is actually, so when Gul'dan became pretty popular on this map, that actually used to be the tried and true pickup for him, was level 1 Fell Flame, to be able to just poke more at this, but Echoed Corruption just gets so much late game value that became the mainstay, but I don't think this is a bad pickup whatsoever. Gives you a lot of wave clear, gives you a lot of shrine poke, gives you a lot of enemy poke, gives you, it's just, I think it's actually a good talent. It's underutilized in a lot of these situations. And it just, you can just mash it. You can just sit there and just mash Q constantly. So we'll see what's happening up in top lane as Gazlo's gonna laser on into Dark Horse. I wonder if this is Workhorse's alter ego or maybe doppelganger. No, if it was a doppelganger, it'd be Horse Work or something. That's just giving them a fair chance. Ah, kind of jonesing to play Q build Gul'dan with Nano, ideally on Shrines. Now I'm jealous. Yeah, no, honestly, I think this is, I really think this is a great map for Q build Gul'dan. You can get tons of value with it, especially during the Shrine phase and the double soak rotations you have to make between mid to bottom. They're also going to be invading the camp on the right-hand side. Looks like they weren't able to invade enough to the point where they steal it away. Cryo Freeze used by cryonetics. No, that's not how you say it. Cryonetics. Think so? I can't. Words tonight, my friends. Diva gonna push up top lane. They still have their mech explosion up and available. BM'd, I don't know if they were actually seen within that. They're gonna get the laser off. I think they're trying to quote unquote burst the mecha form down before they get that mecha explosion out. And do they hit the E button before they don't? And we'll continue to see rotations between lanes. Qdan does seem solid here. Qdam seems solid, but First objective will be frozen in top lane. They're going to actually set up for a gank in the rotation. Let's actually jump onto our red team vision and see what they're seeing in said rotation. Ana going to take this on the safe side. They're not going to see the enemy team over there. There's the Frost. Everything is diving on top of them. Ana going to be the initial target. They're going to go down. Power slide from the ETC will come out, but they lost their Ana. That's going to be a mecha explosion. They get the counter kill. BM is going to get knocked by that, but there's nothing else to chase into them. Not enough damage, and it seems like they just bop them with the mecha explosion, and they're going to force them back. 6% increased damage on that Unfurling Shadows for the Sylvanas at level 1. 34 stacks on the Blood Rage from level 1 for the, Fatal Wounds for the Kira at level 1. BM is very low right now. Is going to try and work their way out, and they somehow, some way get the healing from the White Mane, but they're going to get bopped by the D.Va, and they'll find the White Mane kill as well. A double kill for the members of Artemis, as they actually looked and make it a triple before the objective phase is even announced, or not even announced, even channeled or procced, I think is the better way to say it. That was really well done, seriously, yeah. I'm sure Gul'dan has a very bony behind, so it's... Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. What a turnaround, though. What an absolute turnaround. Like, that was such a strong setup coming out. Like, this bush gank, I have never seen a team run a bush gank like this. That was actually one of the coolest things I've seen a team attempt and make it work pretty well for them. The unfortunate double fight that happened up in this objective phase, they should have cycled back, got themselves a little bit more healthy, and I think just get some cooldowns under control. Like, I think it was just too advantageous and too hyphy, I guess, as the kids would say. They were just very, very energetic and just trying to consistently find a second kill. Just didn't work out for them. Camp on the left to be grabbed, camp on the right to do the same. ETC waiting for that last Skeletal Defender, gonna smack one a couple times, have that ready to go, and looks like they can see this Kael'thas, the friendly team, coming in over here, and they're just gonna wait for everyone to be in lane and ready to go. They could actually clear out the enemy team's siege camp, so that way they do have the advantage with the push potential, but not the case. Objective will be summoned. They'll clear this out actually even in lane, so actually it's pretty moot for what I was saying. Punisher up and available, Frozen Punisher as well, will lock down the towers for, I believe, 2.5 seconds. Nice use of the cryo freeze from Mei to just eat the jump from the Punisher, as it's going to get some decent autos in. Being focused onto the heroes is working out fairly well for the members of Can't Create acronyms, and I think they're going to lose their front gate, and that'll be just about it. They could look to step onto this well. Sleep Dart goes out, power slide through. I believe there was a Gladiator's Medallion used. Something was giving the Mei unstoppable as they find the White Mane once again with the Haunting Wave through the fort, and I was not thinking they would play this aggressive, but Punisher with 1% of its health will be able to help the team finish out that fort. They'll double back, and I think they can actually just go ahead and go back into double soaks, as Gazlo will be showing in bottom lane, and we are going to be having our 10 talent tiers on the right-hand side. We'll go ahead and cycle through the other numbers to get an idea of what those look like. Look at the flank potential coming into BM, though, on the minimap. They actually go for camp instead. Okay. Stacks are pretty low. I didn't actually look at them till just now. All right, what do we have here? Pretty much standards across the board. Bunny hop for the D.Va. No micro missiles is what I've been seeing. So we'll read the tooltip for that bunny hop, because I actually don't feel like I've seen it since the rework yet. So I don't know what the specifics are of that, if it changed in any way, shape, or form. I know there was something that changed a little bit, and people were like, wait, that verbiage is weird. So we'll look at that in just a second here, but they're going to go ahead and open things up in bottom lane. This will be the next lane for the next Punisher, so opening up this front gate's actually a massive win for a team. When it comes to heroics on the opposing side, we do have Gravabomb just as of note. We also have Pyroblast from the Kael'thas, as I was thinking they might drop a Gravabomb. There it is. There's going to be the stun underneath it. They find the combo. They throw a Biter Grenade. There's the power slide in. They actually bop them away. I thought they were going for the Mosh. They actually might have had everyone in that Mosh, if I'm not mistaken. Nano boosted. Sylvanas going to step in onto this Mei, who's taking quite a bit of damage. D.Va going to boost their way back into bottom lane as they finish out that camp. Power slide onto BM'd. They're taking a lot of damage themselves. Gladiator's Medallion used, if I'm not mistaken. There's an Avalanche coming out from the Mei, and they're going to get a Pyroblast point blank onto the ETC and cook the cow. They get a final strikeout as well, if I'm not mistaken, and they will find 3 members on the right-hand side. That's just gonna be, that's it for that. Oh my god. They also got the Diva mech form, so that was maybe a fourth little ticker, but I was not expecting that to be turned around in the way that they did on the side of Can't Create Acronyms. They lose 1 and take basically 3.5. Dark Horse back in the top lane. Autos out will be able to give cooldown reduction to their mecha form, and they'll be able to just sustain that. 25 stacks on the Gul'dan when it comes to the Fell Flame at level 1. No, that's not it. Pursuit of Flame? Yes. Kael'thas did finish their baseline, their level 1 quest on the Mana Addict, so they've got that Arcane Barrier power slide onto the white main. They're just looking to just, not even punish, but bully them, but ETC is fairly far split from their friendly team. BM coming down here, Giggle Beam coming out. There's going to be a Cleanse, or a Gladiator's Medallion used by Honestly, spreading some bomb around. They will back off. If I'm not mistaken, wait, what? Moshpit coming out, interrupted, and Diva Mecha Bomb, Gazlo Explosion, everything being thrown out. Diva will go down. The Mecha Explosion doesn't find a kill. ETC doubles back and walks through the white main heroic, and that is going to be the Scarlet Aegis, if I'm not mistaken. Right? No, excuse me, Divine Reckoning. So they actually double back and walk through that Divine Reckoning, taking some damage. And now the members of Can't Create Acronyms building some momentum in their favor here, but BM needs to rotate into top lane to clear things out. Gul'dan gonna grab a camp for top lane as well. Looks like we have an invade. They can see that the enemy team is on this objective phase because the objective does give a little bit of vision, so they might have counted 1 or 2 members over here. They're actually gonna look for BM as they catch them. Sleep Dart coming out. Ashe is gonna dump the damage in. Healing, reduction will be applied with the Biotic Grenade, and the auto is not going to be enough. Gul'dan finds the damage over time through the wall, and they try to drop the turret from level 4 to get the shielding, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, wait, no. It might have just been, they might have activated. That's what I saw. I thought, because there's a talent at level 4 where you can drop a turret and you get a little bit of shielding. I thought that's what it was, but it actually might have been this easy peasy dimensional ripper that they just popped really quickly. They're going to have this Punisher into bottom lane, and they're going to grab a siege camp for top, and this is interesting on the side of Artemis. This is a little risky. They are taking front gate down, but you need to back off and defend against bottom lane, so they're going to start hearthing out now. I think the other thing, too, is making sure that the Shaman wasn't going to be targeted by the tower so it doesn't burn down immediately, but BM is already up here, and they might stall out some of these hearts. They don't get into the bush in time. There's going to be a turret down on the ground. Meanwhile, bottom lane Punisher going to jump over, honestly going to tank that damage, and the Punisher steps in, and this will be Keep starting to whittle it down. Wave coming in as well. Arcane and friends looking to step up with this Living Bomb on the structure, so that way no one can step into that. There's going to be Dark Horse just boosting into a couple members. Jump coming out from the Punisher. There's going to be a lot of damage onto Honestly and setup as well. Punisher continues to pummel them, and they'll go down. They don't lose the Keep. It's going to be very low, though. It's going to be somewhere in the 2,500 range. We currently have the Gazlo in top lane pushing things back. He could have gotten out if he didn't laser during the healing reduction. Oh. Sleep Darts in the heads. Good night, Stark. Thanks for coming by. Thank you again for the gifted subs, and congratulations on your victory earlier. That's going to be ETC going down in this fight. They're going to trade out the white main right there. A very low Jotak is going to get picked off as well. Mecha Explosion will come out, but it's not going to find a kill. Pew, pew, pew from the Diva will come out as well, and this is going to be 2 for 3 in favor for the members of Can't Create Acronyms, and now Camp pushing in through this mid lane, Camp and top lane as well. While they are losing some players, the enemy team is not able to capitalize too much because they constantly have to deal with something. This is a Shaman camp that was grabbed way earlier by the Diva before, this is actually when like BM got picked off in top lane. I think Diva grabbed that camp. They'll be able to move into mid lane and be able to clear things out right there as they also grab their own camp just below our screen. Kira going to be clearing out the lane down here, and that will push them into 16 talent tier as well. Even across the board, 9 to 9 in kills, 16 to 16 in levels. We have kind of asymmetrical map when it comes to our structural damage. The only advantage when it comes to that is going to be Can't Create Acronyms will be having more damage in the bottom lane, so they have a win condition if they find a couple big kills here, because the death timers are getting very long in this later half of the game. Avalanche off cooldown. Actually, no, excuse me, it's 10 seconds. There's going to be the Bunny Hop, Gravel Bomb, everything being used. That's going to be Divine Reckoning, ETC, Power Slides in. Horrify comes out as well. Mosh Pit's not up for another 17 seconds. They do not, actually, they have the Encore, so they can actually cheat that by, like, hitting 2 people. Gazlo Laser will be enough, and the Nexus Force is helping out, and that will be 1 kill in favor for the members of Can't Create Acronyms, as they're gonna subjugate Dark Horse, who's gonna try and get away. Pyroblast onto them. There's no way you live through that there, bud, and they're gonna get knocked off of Infernal Shrines, and this will be bottom lane. This should be keep going down right now. I don't think they can defend this with just the Gul'dan, Sylvanas, and Ana. I don't know. I don't think they can end, but they just want the keep, which I don't blame them whatsoever for trying to do. Is this a little too advantageous? If Ashe could have caught the Great Potato, or no, excuse me, Great Poto, I think. Either way, if they were able to catch them with the Haunting Wave and unfurling, oh my god, the Shadow Dagger, as well as just their burst potential from their Black Arrows would have been enough, I think, for the Kael'thas kill. Either way, bottom lane will lose their keep. Gazlo pushing up the mid lane, and that'll be our next Punisher, Mortar, for mid lane, as Arcane and friends are getting aggressed onto. There's going to be Gladiator's Medallion used. They get the Haunting Wave short distance, and they also pop their trait. I think it might have just been a panic, just button mash on their end. Either way, 17's up on both sides to 11 to 9 in kills. Top lane has a wave coming through, but there's a catapult to push things back a little bit quicker. Meanwhile, in mid lane, this is going to be a fight that's starting to... Actually, no. Thought they were going to try and press up onto this fort, but they don't manage to do so. And we'll be 17's up. Pyroblast, the only heroic on cooldown. What is the D.Va Bunny Hop? We didn't get to read this. D.Va Mech becomes unstoppable, stomps around every 0.5 seconds, dealing damage in a large area. Every 4th consecutive deals 100% more damage and stuns them for 0.5 seconds. That's going to be them. Boost into them. D.Va going to be... that's a mosh pit. Oh, wait, no mosh pit. There's going to be the Gravel Bomb. There was the Gravity Lapse. Honestly, so very low right here. Needs to do something. They end up going down. Mech Explosion will come out as well. And they find no counter kill in this engagement. Trying to bop a little bit onto this white main, but they're not able to find the damage, and this is just consistently this later half of the game going over to the side of Can't Create Acronyms. They'll have the clear into this, and it seems like next Punisher will be in their favor. Ooh, this invade though, hello onto this camp. They're going to jump on this camp. Horrify comes out from Gul'dan. Doesn't really split them in their favor. They still get the camp stolen away. Dark Horse is not going to get the healing. Final Strike comes out, and 7 has the last shot right there. That was a close one. D.Va just going to go ahead and... Oh, they just play games and they pull out Doritos. I was like, what the hell does D.Va have right there? Punisher to be grabbed for mid lane, and this is looking like Can't Create Acronyms are creating a lot of momentum in their favor in game number 2, trying to take us to a game at number 3. Can they do so, and will this Punisher be what does that for them? Punisher jumping onto 3. That's actually pretty massive. Gravity Lapse onto Honestly. Punisher, do they bait it out of the lane? Are they able to do anything here? I think they're just going to try and burn this down as quickly as possible. BM joining into the friendly team to maybe siege in further onto the keep itself. The Punisher getting low, 25% and falling. They're going to step onto the keep still. Punisher will go down here. D.Va just going to boost into a couple players, but the damage into this keep is way too much, and that'll be Sylvanas diving in. If they can find a counter kill, that'll be massive. That's going to be Grapple Bomb pulling in the ETC, who's going to be subjugated. Excuse me, that was the D.Va who's going to get subjugated. There's a grapple hook from Arcane. They disengage with the double keep down in their favor. Gul'dan not going to go for the bottom lane clear. Ashe will be able to do so. BM for the camp in the top left, and the rest of the team on the left for their own camp. Spicy? This is the game, ladies and gentlemen. 20 talents here will be hit first on the left-hand side. I wonder if they just try and press in and maybe even look to press into end game. It's really risky, but I don't know, like these later game fights are really in their favor. But they've also been playing off of the enemy team's engagement a little bit, so they might be just trying to play around that factor. Upgrade for Gravel Bomb, the miniature black hole, increase the Gravel Bomb 3000 radius by 25% and its damage by 50%. Each hero hit. Each hero, enemy hero pulled reduces the cooldown by 12 seconds, which, what is the cooldown on this? 60 seconds. So if you hit all 5, you basically get the full cooldown. Caster math. Yeah, they're setting up for these bush ganks and stuff, and the members of Artemis. I expect them to make all safe rotations here. Yeah, Diva's gonna make the aggressive side, but they also have that boost, and they're actually gonna boost past what could have been a potential gank area. Now you can see them. They didn't see them for a little bit, but they're gonna see them once this wave pops up. They're like, all right, Diva's up there. Where's the enemy team? Okay, we see the rest of them. Let's just go ahead and step back into this and try and press into top lane because this is gonna be a gravel bomb black hole. They're gonna pull in so many here, gonna be swinging around. They're gonna be pulling them together with the Divine Reckoning. They get the healing at the last second. Dark Horse still has the Mech Explosion up and available. They're gonna lose a lot of damage. They pop that Mech Explosion. They're gonna try and get away. Avalanche comes out. Pyroblast onto Dark Horse. Do they have the mech in time? I think it was interrupted. And Power Slide in from the ETC connects onto 3 for a mosh pit, but there's no damage and they lose 2. The members of Can't Create Acronyms can just run straight through mid and end game here and take us to a game number 3. I'm not calling it yet, but like it's like this is a big core push right now. If they could get a kill onto Gazlo, that's actually massive for them. Gul'dan is poking at them. A lot of them are getting low. Their core health is starting to fall. They're actually going to lose the shielding right now. They're going to be diving in with this Sylvanas. They're going to try and dive back. The Gravibomb pulls Jotok in, and they're going to find a couple members low here. The core itself is getting low as well. This is Jotok trying to survive, and somehow Kira's actually not going down, but Jotok isn't either, and they're going to clear out the minion wave, and they stave off the core push from the enemy team. Are we serious with this, as the Punisher is up and available, but is the back door going to be open for the members of Can't Create Acronyms? Will they be able to rush through mid or bottom and just end game before the enemy team tries to, or while the enemy team's on objective? Like this is such an awkward spot to be in on the side of Artemis, but the game is not over for them whatsoever. Wow. Just wow. 2 down on the opposing side. Looks like Diva's maybe hanging around core, also making sure that the bottom and mid don't get pushed in. Enemy team can see that they're down there, so they know that this is going to be a little bit more of an even-ish fight, but Diva actually boosting their way towards top because they do see a couple members in that lane. And now, this is the play, this is the ploy. They're going to try and rush through... no, that... Maybe... Let's just hang out in the red vision for a couple seconds here. Diva going to push out the top lane, 24 and rising. I'm waiting to see what the enemy team does with this, and Diva actually going to go on a bit of an adventure and also push this out. Need to be cautious of the enemy team. They're going to see them right there. They should be able to survive through this. Maybe they're not going to be able to, as they're body blocked into the corner. They're going to get locked in. Do they have a way out? They get the Punisher. Dark Horse so very low. There's a Pyroblast onto them. They don't have any way to live through this, and they end up going down. With that, the enemy team starts rushing towards core because the Diva's down. That's a lot of the harassment out of this. 7 over here, ready with a sleep dart. We do have 20 talents here. This is Death Mosh on the ETC. Punisher pushing up through top lane. They need to just stave the enemy team off from ending the game. This is going to be the subjugation coming out. Horrify was used. There's going to be a black hole. Jotok gets pulled in. They're going to find the burst they need, and that's going to be another kill for the members of Can't Create Acronyms as the final strike comes out, but they don't find any damage with that. Power Slide from the ETC is going to find a mosh pit onto 2, but the Avalanche will stop that for now. The catapults are dealing way too much damage. Arcane steps to the core. ETC back in over here, but they're going to get bopped back, and this is Can't Create Acronyms taking us to a game number 3. Well played, GG's. All right, I'm gonna run and grab some water really quickly and run to the bathroom. BRB. Low-key, my favorite thing is quoting Mr. Freeze lines every time she's in game. Perfect. Oh, God, chat. All right, we're going to our last game of the evening. Thank you all so much for joining me. Sorry for the awful casting this evening. Tomorrow night, probably going to do a stream. I don't know. I don't know. My brain's so frazzled right now. I will post on Twitter tomorrow about any sort of stream potential. So, follow me on Twitter or follow here to know when we go live, all that good stuff. But yeah, probably gonna be horror stream tomorrow. If not horror stream, no stream. But I would like to stream for y'all tomorrow since I didn't on Monday. And then we've got CCL on Saturday and Sunday starting at 1 o'clock PDT, and that's going to be 2 best of 3s per day. So roughly 4 hours of broadcast content. Actually, anywhere from 2 to 4. It really depends on how the games go. Like, we could have 2 2-0s, and that's probably going to be like 2.5 hours. Oh, I think I read a book tonight after stream. I don't think there's any TV in my ladder. I think we read a book and we go to bed like half an hour after stream, not even. Alright, we got our final map. Let me update our map thingy and then we'll get going. Books, yeah. It's not even a book, it's a graphic novel, I'll be honest. Judge me. As my father said as I was a kid, you're not reading a real book. Doesn't count. But I have the third adventure zone, so I've been meaning to read. Oh my god, I've been meaning to read the third Adventure Zone graphic novel because I got it in the mail a while ago. It's been sitting on my shelf because I have no personal time ever. Yeah, we're about to go into game though. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm excited for this one. It'll be a good one. Baja Cast are still great, even on... Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Baja Cast are still butts, even on days like these. I think Buttsbot's saying the honesty though. Buttsbot, yes? Yeah, pretty much. You get a little free knee today. Yeah, need some free knee. That's what my parents said too. Yeah. Well, my mom argued against it because she was just happy that I was reading something. And my dad was just the judgy jerk. Well, not jerk, but he was just being judgy about it. As he is. Graphic... I mean, they have, like... I used to go to my dad and be like, they have words and sentences. What do you mean? Like, how is it not a book? Well, it's not literature. Alright, well, just because I'm not reading Dante's Inferno, alright? I'll read it eventually. I did. Good book. Except when they don't. Alright, well... Maybe authors should get better at drawing. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to think of like Mary Shelley. Who's the one who wrote Frankenstein? Is that Mary Shelley? I can't remember their names. Maybe she should have been a better graphic artist for her books. Maybe they would have sold more or something. Taz's books have been solid. Some of the changes are odd, mostly. Yeah, like, I don't remember the story so specific that I remember if there are massive changes or little changes, but I'm happy with it. I'm as long as, like, my whole thing is, like, it's close enough and it's what I remember, so I'm having a good time with it. My dad gave me my first comics, so I can't complain when I grow up to be in it. Yeah. Because there are pictures. Yeah, I know. Many authors should learn how to oil paint. Exactly. Mary Shelley. Thank you. Scary Mary? Oh, Scary Mary. Got it. Where's our other team? What's happening? Okay, we're going. I was just like, what's happening right now? But we're good. Let's go ahead and get into it. Final game of the evening. Welcome on in, everybody, to the Nexus Gaming Series. My name is Bahamut. We find ourselves here on Battlefield of Eternity for our game number 3. And if you're sitting at home wondering how we got here, I got you covered, my friends. The home team this evening is going to be the members of Can't Create Acronyms, They lost the coin flip and were given map priority for game number 1. The opposing team banned out Towers of Doom and Dragonshire, Hanamura Temple, and Tomb of Spider Queen banned out by the members of Can't Create Acronyms. Raxus Holdout was the first map chosen by Can't Create Acronyms, and they lost that. As the losing team, they can either choose first pick or map pick. They opted for map pick priority for game number 2, and they chose Infernal Shrines. Winning that map, the losing team, Artemis, is going to have to choose either first pick or map pick. They chose first pick for game number 3, meaning the map pick goes back over to Can't Create Acronyms, and they have chosen to take us to Battlefield of Eternity. Let's get back into our draft and see what we have, as it is no bans. Oh, there we go. We do have a Mephisto ban out on the left-hand side. Want to respect that from game number 1. Do we see Vikings again on a 2-lane map? Do we see the BM special? And do we see them run it against a Rexar in solo lane? We'll have to see. I'm excited about this. Asterix OP. You know what's funny? Those are my first comic books that my dad gave me too. And you know what? They were in French, and I didn't read French. So it was even weirder that my dad was like, don't read comics, but here are some French comic books. And I'm just like, what do you want me to do? I'm a stupid little kid. I'm too smooth-brained. You're the smart one. Genes don't pass like that. I'm an idiot. I need to read more. I actually have like a bunch of like actual like collector stuff from Asterix because it was just one of those things that my dad and I have like a little bond over. So like he went to France and bought me like a bunch of these like coins and stuff. And I keep them all wrapped up because I'm just like, yes, little things to collect. Anyways, I'm sorry. Let's focus on game. My actual attention deficit disorder is going to get worse and worse as the night progresses, so my apologies. I will do my best to stay focused in these games. Mephisto and Diablo to be banned on the left-hand side. May to be gotten rid of on the right. Do we see a choke on to anything? Like, do we see the Viking? Do we see a I don't think we see a Viking or a Gazlo ban. We could actually see Samuro here. Like, I would actually consider a Samuro ban because he actually does do quite a bit of damage on Battlefield and can be quite a harassment tool as well. It's going to be a variant instead, though. They don't want to deal with the single target dive and burst and set up with that. Learn French forehead? Yes, I will tell 7-year-old Bahamut to go back and learn French in his Detroit public school where he didn't even have Spanish. Nor did he even learn the English language correct there, so... Shinies? Yes, Shinies. French is literature, that's why. Oh! Okay. You think that Burger King and Dairy Queen do it sometimes? Mercy with these deep questions. ETC on the left-hand side to be grabbed, Joanna and Li Ming on the right. So single target burst is a setup potential for both teams right now. Greymane would actually be a wonderful steal for the members of Can't Create Acronyms due to the fact that it would give them race potential and also denies the Greymane to the enemy team because Greymane plus Li Ming is just a terrible shredding combo on this map. Sorry, my glasses are dirty. Give me 1 second. It's bothering the hell out of me. Okay. Sorry, let me get this. T-shirt is not a good way to clean glasses. All right, so we have our ban phase coming out once again. It is going to be... they need some sort of mage, and they still need some sort of solo lane. Do they ban out BMs anything? Do they get rid of the Gazlo here, because it can work? Do they get rid of the Samuro here, because it can work? Do they get rid of Vikings? I feel like you have to try and ban BM. It's going to be an Orphea. Not what I was prioritizing, but it actually can synergize fairly well. Samuro always always breaks ankles. Too much water. So bad at playing against Samuro, he just confuses me. Just kill the right clone forehead. Good plan. Yeah. All right. My glasses are clean. There's like one smudge blot bothering the hell out of me. Tyrande will actually be banned out here. I guess I could see it. You could like Bless Shield into the Lunar Flare or something like that, and you do have the Starfall for zoning and all that kind of potential, but realistically, well, the Greymane's grabbed on the other side. Wow. What? Are we serious with this? I was not expecting a Samuro on the side of Artemis. I didn't know they had a Samuro player. Huh. Is this solo lane Samuro or core 4? Is this jungling Samuro? How are they gonna play this? That's Stark's #1 real advice. His troll advice is just to kill. Yeah, exactly. The secret to Samuro is always to run towards the secret to Samuro is always run towards the team, not away from them. Yeah, it's true. That is true. You have a very good point, Josh. Alrighty, let's see. Gazlo to be grabbed and a Chromie as well. I actually really like the Chromie because you can go into the, what's the word I'm looking for, at level 1, Time Walker's Pursuit, and you can actually go ahead and take a peek at Samuro. Chat saying Abathur? Abathur could be a possibility here. I like the idea of a Rainer realistically, and they solo with the Samuro into the Gazlo, but I don't know. Like, it's either a strong solo lane or it's... Okay, it's strong solo lane. They're gonna go Sonya. That makes sense. Okay, so this will probably be a roaming Samuro. That's what I'm kind of expecting with it, is a bit of a roaming Samuro. You don't have to figure out the right ones if you Asthma Dank them all. Yep. If you Asthma Dank them all. I need to actually play this game. I still haven't done any of my placements. I'm still unplaced in Strom League. We'll see. I don't know. It's hard to find time to play this game. It's either like I either cast for you all or I play the game and I feel like you all enjoy casting a little bit more. Also, I don't feel as bad when I'm casting because I just know I'm bad. When I play, I get to see I'm bad. Alright, though. We'll get into our Battlefield of Eternity game. So thank you all once again for hanging out with me today. Thank you for hanging out for these games, and good luck to the teams. We're dead. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Can't Create Acronyms. Sabutai, I think it actually is going to be on the Ana. We've got Bella on the... Excuse me, on the... Chromie. Arcane's going to be on that Greymane. Cryonictix is going to be on the ETC and BM'd on the Gazlo. On the right-hand side, we got the members of Artemis. We've got Dark Horse on the Sonya. Seven will be on the Anduin. Ash will be on that Li Ming. Jotak will be on the Samuro, and honestly on the Joanna. You're a great A caster, though. Thank you, Emote Control. I very appreciate that. It's just it's an off day for me, so I'm gonna be self-deprecating. But I appreciate the compliments. I really do. Just it's an off day, and I can't get out of the funk. Y'all know those days, you know. It's just you wake up and it's just you just can't. Like everything just keeps falling apart consistently. It's just too much, and it piles on top of itself. That's a good way to put it. One's up. We are in bottom lane right now with our core four, and we have our Sonya versus Gazlo in top lane, which I actually want to watch this for a wee bit. I'll do my best to watch the health bars for bottom lane, but I'm just always curious to see the solo lane matchup. I always also like to, you know, make fun that it's not the most entertaining lane, but there's a bit of a, you know, 3D chess match happening here. You have to consider a lot more things rather than in the core four where you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna mash abilities and win the video game. No. Samuro did go into the Way of Illusion at level 1, so they are going to be getting the auto attack crits into the enemy heroes, if I'm not mistaken, and that will increase their auto attack speed. Or excuse me, auto attack damage. Yeah, it's auto attack damage. Sorry, not auto attack speed. That's my mistake. BM being forced back in top lane. Dark Horse is going to be holding this lane for a little bit. Did go into Warpaint at level 1, so a little bit more sustain on that Sonya for top lane. Joanna going to be just harassing this enemy team as they're going to walk through a couple of those deep breathing stacks, and this is an invade onto the camp. Do they double back and try and steal this away from the enemy team? Honestly, looking to step in on this. They're going to go ahead and condemn a couple. They're looking at the Greymane. There's going to be a Worgen form out from them. There's a time stop onto Seven, who was trying to use the Chastise. Does connect onto the ETC as Chromie's supplying a lot of sand from a distance, but Li Ming is trying to do the same thing on the opposing side with some of these arcane orbs. The big balls coming in, and they find the kill. First blood over onto the side of Artemis as they do grab the camp for bottom lane as well. Top lane is going to have Dark Horse still pushing to BM'd, and it looks like they're pushing into them fairly aggressive. Not too aggressive to the point where they're forcing the wave to go quickly. A little bit like that. Like, it's a couple autos here and there. Like, it's not massive aggression into this Gazlo as they just press the wave. They'll probably double back, and our objective phase will be up and available in 45 seconds. The announcement in 14 seconds. So we could see a double back for this Bruiser camp soon, or we could see Samuro split off for that one. Not sure which one will go for that. It looks like Samuro will be the one with maybe some help from Li Ming. Chromie stacks, though, as of note, will be at 12 out of the 20 stacks, so they're working their way through that deep breathing at level 1. I'm expecting Mobius Loop. Typically, if you take deep breathing at level 1, a lot of the Chromies have been going into Mobius Loop at level 7, which is technically level 5 for them because of their trait. Gazlo is going to be going into Rocket Socket, and this is what I was talking about in the last game where I thought Gazlo threw down a turret to get themselves some shielding. There's actually a really, really good moment where Epic Player was, I believe it was top lane of... I think it was Infernal Shrines or Battlefield. I can't remember because the palettes are very the same, but it was top lane and there was a Diablo trying to dive onto them and get the kill, and they just kept getting these turrets out and kept getting a wee bit of shielding and survive. So shout out to Epic Player for that really cool play that we had a couple weeks ago, or actually I think it was last week. Chastise, a lot of damage onto Arcane, they're gonna find the kill, and the members of Artemis are coming into this game number 3 with the intention of this being their series in their hands. But Gazlo and friends have a bit of a different story here, and honest to God, like this later half of the game with the Greymane will be interesting. Chromie scaling as well be something to consider, as Mobius Sleep was grabbed at level 7 for them, level 5. They need only 2 more stacks on that Deep Breathing at level 1 for just the increased damage, I believe. Cooldown reduction and mana cost reduction. That's what it was. The increased damage is going to happen as you continue the quest, so it's 1% per stack that you get. So it's like Zul Jin with the Headhunter at level 1. You are getting that 2% per enemy hero killed. And you get 10 at the end. So like if you basically get most of it, you have at least 8%. You won't get that 1.1 range increase in that last 2%, but still 8% is still 8% more damage on Zul Jin. 6 to 6 in levels, half a level lead in favor for the members of Artemis, as they do have those couple kills. They're looking for a third one on the BM right now. He gets the laser out. There's gonna be a lot of damage being dumped out from Chromie, who did finish the Deep Breathing at level 1, so that does give them that 20% in total cooldown reduction and mana reduction as well. So more spam ability on that, as they're gonna find, honestly, in the corridor with that Sandblast, and Dark Horse will get bopped away and they're going to go down. Frontliners for the members of Artemis getting picked off, and Greymane, meanwhile, working on the Immortal phase, will be first one for the side of Can't Create acronymS. How is Gazlo now? Depends on the player, I feel. Cattle has played it, and it's strong. Epic Player has played it, and it's strong. BM just played in our previous game, and it's been strong, and they're playing in this game as well. Personally, I think Gazlo's in a great spot. He's going to be a little bit on the niche side, in my opinion, when it comes to playstyle, much like how Rexar is. I think there's going to be a little bit of finesse that comes into the actual playstyle of Gazlo. When you're mid-maxing, you're scrapping all of that kind of stuff. And so this is one of those that's the big consideration, is kind of that mid-maxing factor with the Gazlo overall, like kind of how you have with the Misha Rexar combo, that micro of the Bear or the Lost Viking. So it's going to fall into, I think, a little bit more of skilled hands, but not something that's like, oh, you can't practice it and get better. Like it's just, you have to sit there and practice it a little bit more. It's not going to be as entry level as Raynor, where you put your cursor on the enemy hero and just paint them red and win the game. In bottom lane, we are going to have Dark Horse pushing up a little bit further. BM is going to go ahead and Hearth out fully. Not sure if Dark Horse sees that. Top lane objective did get the front gate in favor for the members of Can't Create acronymS. Greymane dives onto the camp, will clear out things as best as they can. But the enemy team stepping in here, Samuro throws clones. For fun fact, for anyone that's wondering, if you're trying to ever figure out how the clones work, the clone will always spawn towards your cursor. So let's say you're gonna split and you want to be the backline unit that splits away. You want to put your cursor behind maybe where mine is right now if you were trying to go to the right. If you're trying to step into them, you would then move your cursor to the left, up and down. Basically, I believe it works in the cardinal directions. It actually might work in all 8 directions, where you might be able to get angles. I'm not 100% sure on that. Dark Horse actually sidestepped this camp channel point, so that actually gives that over to BM, so they actually step out of that one because they don't want to sit there and take damage and potentially get rotated on, so they're going to maybe tap well and look to clear the wave in lane. 8 to 8 in our levels. Let's go ahead and cycle through the other numbers, as we will be having 10 talent tiers pop up fairly soon. Maybe quicker if they find a kill, but not the case. Camp and top lane to be pushed in favor for the members of Can't Create acronymS. Artemis, little on the defensive side. When I play it and it's weak, when like Amoebis, I think like it depends on the hands. It depends on how practiced you are, because you can say that with any hero. Like everyone could be like, Valera's super easy to play, just learn how to combo her combos, and but I don't know how to. So I couldn't just go into a game and play it, but I'm sure if I put time into it, like anything in this game, you'd be able to start to really figure things out. So I don't know. The one thing that I always have the conversation with the devs at BlizzCon, well, in previous BlizzCons and other events, it's just they do a really good job with a lot of more of the newer heroes to be intuitive. Like Hanzo, when they came out, I was super nervous to play because of the skill shot threshold that you have to have with them, but as I played it more and more, I think my Hanzo's mildly good. Like, I'm an okay Hanzo player, maybe low platinum Hanzo. I'd say, like, comfortably, I'm a low platinum Hanzo. But before, I was probably a bronze for the longest time with my skill shots, and I probably still am bronze with some of my skill shots some of the times I stream it. So it's just one of those things. It's practice. You got to practice, and you can absolutely get good at it. But Gazlo, in the end, if in the right hands, is a strong hero. But that can be said almost about any hero. They're meta. I think is maybe the answer that people are looking for. Gazlo is meta again. That's probably the better answer that maybe everyone wants to hear. Top lane will be the second objective of the game, and it did go over to the side of Artemis, so they'll be pushing in with a half-shielded Immortal. I actually didn't watch the race phase because I was just rambling about absolutely nothing. Gazlo setting up for maybe a flank into this, or just maybe to step in with a friendly team. Immortal will attack from range so long as it does have some shielding, so you can see that kind of red glow around them. It's going to be kind of a goldish or yellow when it is going to be the opposing side Punisher. As Arcane dives in, they're looking for maybe some sort of kill into Ashe, but they get a Blessed Shield to the face, and they're actually going to survive this. It was actually... I can't believe that they managed to make it out alive on both sides of that. Jotak throws out the Samuro clones. Way of the Blade from level 1 is going to be done. Excuse me, Wave Illusion. Li Ming going to blink away as the Immortal will confirm top lane for it. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Sonya doing Sonya things. Sonya just going to push things out for them and get the front gate down. Top lane fort's out, so that's going to be periodic catapult pressure for the members of Artemis, and Can't Create Acronyms will do their best to push things back and contain the top lane pressure. Honestly, looking for maybe a setup into this? No, they're going to be just kind of... maybe baiting them into this into this camp. I'm not 100% sure. Sonya just going to double back into top lane to help out the friendly team, as Gazelle is doing the same thing on the minimap. A little bit of laser out. That's going to be a slowing sands from Chromie to zone them out of there. There's a lot of damage onto this. Joanna, who gets the light bomb, they're going to turn this around. Gazlo with the gravel bomb. Mosh pit from ETC will connect onto 3. Where's the damage as they actually do find the Samuro kill? Oh my god, the Disintegrate's not going to get the reset, but I believe there was a Blessed Shield that just came out from the Joanna. Chromie going to be sniping players as 7 has been standing in the slowing sands for way too long. Gladiator's medallion used, but they double back into the face of BM, who gets a smack, and that's Chromie cleaning up 4 in totality. All 5 go down on the side of Artemis, and they push in through top lane. This should be an easy fort. It's low death timers, but they've got a long rotation, and they've got a decent wave. They've got Chromie, and they've got Gazlo. Very well played by the members on the side of Can't Create Acronyms, as they've evened things out for the top lane. Really, really smart call. Like, this right here, this is a very, very, like, it's... not everyone does this. Like, some teams I feel like would back off and be like, let's go get a camp in bottom or something. And I'm like, this is such a smart call. You've evened out the periodic catapult pressure. You've got the passive experience gain. It's such a smart call from Can't Create Acronyms. The members of Artemis are going to be even talent tiers. It's going to be 7-4 in kills. This is Dark Horse using the leap to get away. Power slide from ETC. Sleep Dart. That's a gravel bomb blow up that they want. Here is a great example of Gazlo in the right hands. This game right here, and I'm not saying like, oh, Artemis is out. Like, this GG's Artemis, they've lost the game because they get a couple wombos, but like, it's a really good example of how Gazlo combos work and how to sustain as the character in place. Like, just BM's doing a great job of showcasing the skills and the prowess of the Gazlo that was reworked, because it is a very viable hero as of, well, our current meta. Regardless, this is going to be Immortal Phase started in favor for the side of Can't Create Acronyms, as they're going to burn through this Immortal as quickly as they can. Arcane jumping into that Worgen form, as they have a lot better siege with that, and that's the first half of the Immortal Phase ending in favor for the side of Can't Create Acronyms. Time stop onto Ashe. Blinks back just to make sure they're not going to get comboed by Chromie. Power slide from ETC, going to drop a Mosh onto 3, and there's going to be quite a few members dancing, slowing sands on the left-hand side. Nobody going down. Li Ming blinks away. This is going to actually be the Ana getting picked off. Leap from Sonya onto this back line, doing their best. Gravel bomb once again doesn't pull Dark Horse in. Do you have the power slide? They're going to step way too far out if they do, so they just back off. Gazlo throws a laser back, and Samuro is able to just jump away. Also to note, this is going to be a Samuro of the Blade Storm nature, so they are going to be focused on that wave clear. Not going to be able to swap the clones around, as I thought Dark Horse was going to go down from that third Sand Blast. Power slide from ETC, going to bop them back in, and that's a lot of damage onto Dark Horse, and they're going to be able to walk out of that one, but there's a stun on the ground, and ETC actually ends up going down. They're going to start hemorrhaging a couple players here, staggering out deaths, and this is giving them the opportunity to start racing in favor for the side of Artemis, but will they be able to race against the Chromie Gazlo? Greymane not there just yet, honestly coming in with a shield glare just to slow things down and maybe help with the friendly team. 7 coming in as well, but did honestly just overextend. The Biter Grenade comes out. That's Li Ming with the Disintegrate to force them back as well. They have a little bit of poke here and there. Samuro's on the Immortal. They have to sustain this for just a second or two longer. Gravel Bomb comes out, finds no one. There's the leap from Sonya on to BM, who's gonna be able to back off, but the Immortal does go over to the side of Artemis. I just realized that Li Ming's a laser Namash. That means if she's... Not that matters if she's inside. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Immortal will go into bottom lane as it is the more well-defended lane. Samuro pushing out top lane. We have 16 talent here in tow for the members of Artemis as they actually rotate Samuro into top lane. Okay, I saw their actual like little indicator because everyone has little arrows on the minimap. I saw it just doubling back and forth. I was like, are they getting one more wave? I think they're trying to find one more wave through top to potentially get them 16s. Disintegrate from the Li Ming going to be coming out just to try and zone them back. There's going to be a pull in from, honestly, as they also will have a power slide from the ETC. This is going to be an encore ETC, so they have cooldown reduction on Mosh Pit. That's the reason their 120-second cooldown is already off cooldown, is because, well, Mosh Pit value, encore value from level 13. Sonya considering the bottom lane camp, but the Immortal in bottom lane will just confirm the fort, and that's it. Yo, Kriv, thank you for the 27 months. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. That was their angle to butt. Or angel to butt. Mosh Pit comes out, interrupted by the pull from the Condemned. There's a light bomb as well. Li Ming is getting reset after reset as they're probably just rolling face across the keyboard, looking for Disintegrate into this Chromie, who's able to get the time stop, but they step into the gate to throw a Sandblast and are met by magic missiles. Realistically, this is when you push hard bottom lane. Sonya and friends should be just turning into bottom. Actually, you know what? Sonya, I like what they're doing. They're pushing back the wave to get their own a little bit faster in here. So this is actually working out fairly well for them. But the Shaman, as long as the Shaman's not targeted by the tower, which it is going to be rough for them because they want that Shaman to sustain the spawns of these Hellhounds, as there's a lot of damage into BM'd. I think they just open up front gate and bottom lane. I think that's going to be just about it. Sonya does grab camp, but they can double back at this point. What's the camp timing on the left-hand side? 3 minutes. Ashe is actually going to blink into them. Chastise comes out, and now they back off. Samuro throws out clones just for harassment and dismounting, and camp to come through bottom lane. Sonya just grab camp for the right for some top lane pressure as the gate is still up and available, but the members of Artemis are looking pretty healthy in this later half of the game. Rakanum, thank you for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the content you're seeing, my friend. Willingly fighting down 16 is not the play. I mean, but what if you win, though? Just what if you win the forehead fight? Forehead? I'm sorry. Any 5 hivers in chat? Immortal gonna get poked up by Li Ming. Time stop onto 1. Iron Skin used as well as they are fearing maybe the Mosh Pit. That's on a 4-second cooldown currently, and that is the only cooldown up and available. Camp and top lane will slowly push out and win in favor for the members of Artemis. So a little bit of a ticking time bomb up in that top lane as they blink away from the potential combo from Chromie, and that's a lot of damage onto them. They're trying to back off, and I think they're managing to do exactly that. Look at Joe on the left-hand side of our screen, trying to find some sort of flank into the enemy's side. Maybe able to do so onto this Ana sub, just still playing safe. They actually, yeah, you can see the Samuro coming in. They're going to go ahead and jump forward onto this Chromie, and this is where the leap comes out from Sonya. The Disintegrate as well. Blessed Shield will be there. There's a Grava Bomb pulling with a Condemned Light Bomb. Everything thrown out, and Greymane, Ana, and Chromie will go down. Reset City, potentially for Ashes. They have a Mosh Pit, but there's nothing to help them out. Samuro finds another. That's all 5 dead on the left-hand side, and they'll go ahead and move over to Immortal. This will have a halfway point, but I think they're considering, let's just end game. 30 seconds. I don't think you can end game here. You might be able to get a keep, but that means Immortal just goes into bottom lane. Bottom lane does have a catapult down here, so they're getting double siege, and they also have Samuro on this, which they will be able to deal quite a bit of damage. This is actually not the standard Samuro build we do see, so I'm just going to spell armor, of course, crushing blows. We do have the short distance, and then the harsh winds cause take 30% increased damage from Samuro's. Okay, yeah. That is what that level 16 is. Can't create acronyms, played too clumped and followed instead of leading. Huge leap into, yeah. Dad Video, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. Very much appreciated. I'm glad you're enjoying the content you're seeing, my friend. Thank you very much for the sub. Enjoy your asthma pogs, your Baja rages, your little bandit sips, your Baja sips, your pachas. Oh my god, there's so many. So many new emotes. I think we actually have new slots as well, so we might have to fill those. I might have to hire the emote artist again, and we'll have to do a new one of those. But power slide in. There's gonna be a Grava Bomb, the blow up onto Anduin, leaping from the Oh my god, leap in from Sonya into the backline, and Sub is going to go down. They're going to trade out healer for healer. BM does low here. There's going to be a potential reset for Li Ming if she can get the Disintegrate. Moshpit comes out from ETC. There's no wave of force to interrupt it, so that's Chromie cleaning up a little bit themselves, but they lose their Greymane. It's a 2 for 3 overall. Immortal moving in through bottom lane as there is no keep in top or bottom, and this is a fully shielded Immortal stepping towards core with a Li Ming and a Sonya half health, trying to end game. Combo coming out from Ash, blinks in, misses BM, but they have to watch out for Chromie and the ETC as they go for the trade. That's going to be a Gazlo for a Li Ming, but this is also going to be just a Sonya on core who needs to be careful of the Chromie sands. Core itself is starting to lose health, and this is a very late game Immortal. It's going to move into melee range. Dark Horse is considering to end here. They do have a leap in 9 seconds. They're going to be power slid on by the ETC. They're going to try and spin to win through a lot of this, sustain their own health. They're actually being targeted by the core, and this is going to be them going down, but the Immortal should have the autos as necessary, and that is game over to the side of Artemis in a great game number 3. GG, well played.